Imolites demand justice. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Abia and Anambra State on Sunday marched around the major streets of Umuahia and Awka capital cities to protest against the Supreme Court's judgment that sacked Chief Emeka Ihedioha as governor of Imo State. The protesters displayed placards with various inscriptions, including "Return the will of Imo people," "Injustice to one is an injustice to all," "Supreme Court lacks the power to appoint a governor," and "Save Nigeria from shame and international embarrassment," amongst others. Now, this video has been trending on social media. If you haven't seen it yet, this is the video showing a lot of Imo State mothers, coming out on the street and actually crying on the government of the day to do what they seem to be justice. We'll be back after this clip.
This is a procession of men and women of Imo State, Imolites, marching out in anger, asking the Supreme Court to reverse the judgment on Emeka Ihedioha. This is the people of Imo State. You can see them across party lines. They are moving out in their numbers.
I'm a retired prison officer, retired. What happened in this Imo State as per Supreme Court ruling is abortion of justice.
A height of injustice in Nigeria, in the whole Nigeria. This is a slap to Nigeria and a slap to democracy, a slap to rule of law. It's a slap to everything. It has really bring our nation down in terms of democracy.
My brother, I'm not feeling fine. I'm not feeling fine at all. I'm from Abia State, but I'm living at over here. I voted at over here. I registered at over here. And God give our own governor, being Emeka Ihedioha, after everything. They just disappoint us. I'm not happy. I'm crying.
What is happening in this state now is really paining everybody, traders, workers, pensioners, many of them. But I don't know where to start. They have come to Imo State to destroy Imo State. Unfortunately, the man that won the mandate on the day of the election, Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioha.
All right, that was in Awka on Sunday. Well, in Abuja yesterday, some PDP members were involved in an accident during a protest against the sack of Emeka Ihedioha of Imo State as well. And of course, this video showing what happened at the scene of the accident has also been trending. Let's quickly go see that, then we'll come back and then we'll have comments from the panelists.
You get down. I get down. child go fall down. Bros, just help us and make you get the shot, I beg. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni má lọ bẹ̀. Hey!
All right, gentlemen, in 20 seconds each, let's comment on this. January 14th, will it go down the annals of history as a day justice was served, or as a day the people of Imo State was actually shortchanged? Mr. Fosse.
I don't still understand the rationale which the Supreme Court based their judgment on. Yesterday, too, you know that the closest election of them all in Sokoto State still went to Tambowa. What we saw in Kano State, as when everybody said that when this case go to court, definitely the Ganduje will be sacked. But the Supreme Court gave it to him, and come back to Bauchi State, he gave it to him, and I still don't understand the basis in which how they begin to subtract vote and add votes for Uzodinma to become the governor-elect. Someone who came fourth with about 92,000 votes, beating someone who got about 200 and something thousand votes. I don't understand. But I think when justices are beginning to take decisions, giving judgment that cannot align with the common sense, cannot align with the thought of everybody, you can't give a judgment and everybody's on the street screaming. It's unheard of. And apart from that, a pastor, a so-called pastor, came out to say that this person, he saw somebody coming. He saw somebody coming. That means that the God we serve is the God of injustice. That's the way I see it.
Prince Chilaka.
Sometimes when things happen, you don't really know what to say. I would say that I'm one of those who have been in a very sober mood since January 14th. Not because I'm a die-hard supporter of Emeka Hendioma, not because some people have said because I'm an NBC man. No, but because in the last 8 months, I have taken time to follow his administration. I am one of those who would criticize you if you do the wrong thing. And when it started off, going about recovering of property of Imo State from Rochas, I came out and I said it was wrong. But I think the thing is that now I understand why Mr. President went after these judges initially, when he arrested on some of them.
Yes.
Now I understand why. They have become so reckless. They're doing a lot of things with impunity. For them, nothing matters anymore. It's just a rape on the people of Imo State.
How can you do that?
It's a rape. It can never be accepted anywhere in the world. Like I said,
the name of those judges should be published, and we mark them down.
In one of the articles I wrote, I said it is high time we scrap INEC and replace it with the Supreme Court.
Yes. Okay. Mazi Obioha.
Yeah, I'm short of words. That 14th day of January 2020 was a day justice and law was truncated in Nigeria. Also consider the day judgment was passed in favor of the president.
Yes.
Nigerians were not happy. I was one of those that said, let the music play, let everybody go back. Because the Bible said the first shall be the last shall be the first. Until some facts began to emerge. And I said, when has the Supreme Court been given the power to add votes
and subtract?
The same thing that happened
The same thing
happened in Osun State.
I had to put a call on one of my friends who is a judge, state house judge. He wept. He said, Maze, if you happen to be one of those that will give a minority judgment, before you get to your house, your retirement, whatever, will be waiting for you.
you.
It's unfortunate that Uzodinma said his votes for 388 units were cancelled or were not added. Then, when the Supreme Court looked at it, they now added and added and added and added more than the accredited votes. It did not occur to them that Nigerians are intelligent. The day I was given an account of my still worship on radio, I said, you know, somebody was even, when I said this is income, this is expenses, and this is balance, somebody was calculating, and at the end he said, Maz, you are right. This is what has happened. How come that the Supreme Court is now an extension, an annex of the presidency?
Okay.
Let me round up
quickly, sir.
Yesterday, the president congratulated APC and said, how will he feel if the Kano and the rest went to the opposition party? And you know why they took over Imo State? Imo State is an oil-producing state. Ugutasa, he's from there. So they've taken that one. It's only Abia State that is left. Abia produced very, very little quantity of oil. So they've added that. It's unfortunate, I don't know.
All right, now it looks like everybody's in agreement that the Supreme Court's judgment is in error, so to say. But according to the Constitution, the Supreme Court's judgment is final, even though we all know that the judges are not infallible, as it were. So in seeking redress or trying to correct this error, what would you say would be the proper thing to do now? Hope Uzodinma has already been sworn in. His certificate of return as governor has already been presented. What will be the right thing to do now
to give
justice to the people of Imo State?
The Oyibo that made pencil. This side is the eraser. The other one is the pencil. If you write and get it wrong, you turn the other one. Justice must be seen to be done. They are final, but they are not infallible. They are humans. So the best thing is for them to cover. Though my friend who is a judge says it's impossible, because they are final, but not that they are infallible. So I think for us to be, for them to restore peace and the interest and the other things to the masses, they should do the right thing by saying, we have sinned against you, but this is the right thing.
Okay, Prince Chilaka.
I'm not interested. No, I'm no longer interested in the Supreme Court. Because as far as I'm concerned, the judiciary has failed this country. I keep saying it. I'm more interested in the role the church is playing in our political life. The role some priests, some pastors, some men of God have taken upon themselves.
It's unfortunate.
To partake in bastardizing this country. It is high time we begin to call them to order. It is high time there's a clear line drawn between the state and the church and religion, or else this country will go up in flames. And they will be the ones to make it go up in flames.
Okay, all right, Mr. Foster.
I simply think there is nothing anybody can do now. That is the court of the highest decision
the
making.
Apex Court,
as
it is.
The only thing you need to do is to take your complaint to God. And I always say that even God that created people, and when He creates someone, He gives birth to that person. When he died, they say God gives and God takes. But we still cry, and I think that's part of the cry. The Imo people are crying, and the PDP is also crying. And I feel that what we need to do, I think there's need for total overhauling of our judicial system. It is very bad the way it is now. The way it is now is that, like I said, that you can go to sleep, like Amechi went to Ghana and came back and become the governor of River State in 2007. So you just can do anything and feel that pick loopholes in the electoral process, and you didn't even contest, come back, go to court and become the governor. So it shouldn't be like that. It's the only country in the world that always rely on the courts to make them who they want to be in political space.
So
the chairman of the APC
judiciary
said, you can win in the tribunal, you can win in INEC, but you know where we win.
Okay. The very moment General Buhari desecrated the sanctity of the Apex Court by Onogen's removal was the day I lost confidence in our judiciary. James from Agbado sent that one in. My name is Davis from Dolphin Estate. Please, Imolites should stop displaying ignorance. Simply wait for the full judgment of the Supreme Court, then ask for a review. Even if you cry and fill buckets with tears, that will not reverse the decision. And